Radical Radio Collective.
4ZZZ. Good afternoon, listeners. You're tuned into 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. This is Eco Radio, Australia's longest running peace and environment radio show, probably. And we're taking over your middle of the day, middle of the week, end of the month, the very end of the month.
End of the year, Dave.
End of the year, yeah. It's an exciting time to be on the radio. Everyone's at home. People might be listening to the radio a bit more.
I feel like it's on holiday, so less people are likely to be at home.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. They're probably out gallivanting around.
On the countryside?
Up in Noosa or somewhere. Yeah.
Well, either way, we're here to take you through to 1 p.m. and we have got a phenomenal show prepared for you. But start everything off. My name's Dave. My pronouns are he, him.
My name is Zack. My pronouns are he, they.
And let's start off by acknowledging and paying our respects to the custodians and the country in which we broadcast. We're located in the city Mangangin, or Mianjin, on Turrbal Yuggera land. I also want to acknowledge and pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are listening in today. Our radio waves reach Cubby Cubby and Yinabara country in the north, Waka Waka country in the west. In the east, we pay our respects to the Quandamooka people. And down south, we reach the Commonwealth, Nagaragwal, Mununjali, Wanjerabara, Yugambeh and Bunjalung countries. Thank you to No Idea for all the great ideas. I really enjoyed the microplastic story replay. Mm-hmm. That's always depressing and important to hear. Although we're not big on the AI here on Eco Radio, we're more on the organic...
very anti-AI radio program is what we are.
We're organic stupidity over here. It was interesting to see if our jobs are going to be taken over soon, or our volunteer roles are going to be taken over soon. It doesn't seem likely. So we're here to show you what organic stupidity can do and will do. Today on the show, we are talking about the Indonesian occupation of West Papua.
I'm going to be honest, Dave, that doesn't sound like something you can be very organically stupid with.
Maybe organically... I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure you can be.
Yeah.
Organically aware. Yesterday I recorded an interview with Andreas Harsono. Andreas is a researcher working for the Human Rights Watch, and he works out of Jakarta, Indonesia, which has very strict laws around what can be said about human rights abuses in West Papua. So I thought it was a really interesting way to talk about West Papua from the Indonesian side mm-hmm. of the conflict or of the occupation. So we'll get to that, but first I want to play a song, a Papuan song. This is Black Paradise by A Nanwa. The album is West Papua, Spirit of Mambasak. So back in the 70s and 80s, West Papuan artists like Arnold App and Eddie Mofu formed the cultural music group Mambasak to revitalise traditional West Papuan dance, music and song. Mambasak provided a certain colour, form and inspiration for the birth of music and dance groups throughout Papua, actively promoting and strengthening West Papuan identity. However, Arnold App and Eddie Modu, their popularity and the conscious pride in being Papuan Mambasak music's endangered them. They were brought to the attention of the Indonesian military, who accused them of being separatists, and they were murdered because of it. So let's go to this is the Spirit of Mambasak, the West Papuan album. This song is Black Paradise by A Nanua. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio.
How do you get your daily fix of 4ZZZ?
Maybe you tune in during your daily commute in the car.
You could just stream it on our website, 4zzz.org.au.
Or maybe you've downloaded the Community Radio Plus app to listen on the go.
You can even ask your smart speakers to play 4ZZZ or Z Digital.
Give it a go.
However you're tuned in,
Thanks for listening to 4ZZZ.
Thank you for listening to 4ZZZ. Bye, Max. We just heard then from I Know Anwe with the song Black Paradise. We are going to be playing a interview I did with Andreas Harsono, a Human Rights Watch reporter in Indonesia, Jakarta, about the ongoing occupation in West Papua. But just for some background, I want to give everyone some context for the Indonesian occupation. The occupation of West Papua by Indonesia is completely legal. The United Nations transferred West Papua from Dutch control to Indonesian control with the New York Agreement in the 60s. Indonesians say that the Papuans voted for the transfer, but Papuans say that they were threatened with violence during the process.
Can I add something here, Dave?
Go for it.
So with that transference of the West Papua to the Indonesians, there was meant to be a referendum held on it, and that is where the West Papuans voted for it.
Yes.
But what happened with that was that there were about 1,000 people who actually only voted for it.
Yes.
And these were from people from like high authority people, like people with high authority within the West Papuan community.
Yep.
And then their family was held at gunpoint into voting for it.
They were threatened with violence to vote for the Indonesian transfer.
Yeah.
And there was no accountability by the UN about this.
It was, they very much turned a blind eye towards it.
Yeah. And that's how you get the legal fiction that is the Indonesian occupation of West Papua. So the Free West Papua movements have been in opposition to the Indonesian governance since 1971. Today, it is an ongoing battle. Human Rights Watch reports that the National Liberation Army of West Papua, which is the armed wing of the Free Papua movement, has claimed the killing of 17 alleged miners between April 6th and April 9th this year. The Indonesian military, on the other hand, have allegedly killed and injured dozens of civilians with drone strikes and indiscriminate use of explosive munitions, and displaced thousands of indigenous Papuans. There are videos and pictures of this, and we'll make all those links available. But let's go to part one of my interview with Andreas Harsono. He is the Human Rights Watch reporter from Indonesia, living in Jakarta. This is my interview. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to find someone in Indonesia to talk about West Papua, but I found it a little bit difficult. Your book, Race, Islam and Power, Ethnic and Religious Violence in a Post-Suharto Indonesia, devotes a chapter to the Indonesian occupation of West Papua. I know that former President Joko Widodo allowed foreign journalists to enter West Papua in 2010 after being forbidden for almost 50 years. What are the Indonesian rules around reporting on West Papua? Is it difficult for you to report on West Papua still?
For local journalists, we have to divide into two categories. One is indigenous Papuan journalists, and the other category is Indonesian like me, who are not Papuan, non-Papuan Indonesian. Usually, indigenous Papuan journalists are closely monitored under surveillance by the authorities. Their reporting, their writing are all scrutinized. it is often that they're accused of being a sympathizer, a supporter of the Free Papua movement. Meanwhile, for non-Papuan journalists, someone like me, we are usually expected to be nationalists. Nationalists. Thus, we are expected to side with whatever the Indonesian authorities declare or say or about anything in Papua. So how difficult is it? It will be difficult if you stray away from the official lines, from the official explanation. That is going to be difficult, whether you are Papuan journalist or whether you are Indonesian journalist.
So how do you do that while reporting for Human Rights Watch?
That is quite difficult. But first of all, I could go to West Papua. It is different with foreign journalists. Foreign journalists, they need to pass the so-called clearinghouse from 18 ministries and agencies.
Oh, wow.
For someone like me, I could just, buy a ticket, book a hotel, and fly to any city in Papua. The difference is once you enter the airport and they know who you are, then things will not be that easy. Whether you are going to receive intimidation or smear campaign by fellow journalists. Not many, but some Indonesian journalists do work as informers for the authorities, whether for the police or for the military. So things started. And secondly, your sources can also get into hot water for speaking to you. Once you leave, then the sources will be invited to go to a local station or being asked to discuss what you are talking about with that guy. That kind of thing happen.
Yeah, and a lot of Papuans end up arrested. One of the reasons for arrest can be just flying the West Papuan Morning Star flag, right?
It is. That's true. That's often happen. That's why I keep on writing. I keep on calling on the government to decriminalize the Morning Star, because the Morning Star is considered to be a contraband. If you raise the Morning Star, you can be accused of treason. Or if you wear a Morning Star bracelet, a Morning Star noken is traditional Papuan bag, you can be charged with treason. And the maximum penalty is life in prison. Yeah.
In 2015, a Vice article, you said that if you're a police officer in Indonesia, you want to be posted to West Papua, you can make a lot of money from illegal logging, alcohol, prostitution, mining. There's a lot of money and not a lot of transparency. Has anything changed since 2015?
They're the same. Still the same. There are a lot of illegal businesses involving police, military, and many other government officials in Papua. There was a joke in Papua. When you go to Papua, you bring M16. When you return from Papua, you bring back 16 million.
Right.
M16 and 16M.
So it's seen as a place to exploit by Indonesia, right?
Yes, it is. It is.
I've heard you talk about the transmigration of Indonesians into West Papua as one of the detrimental factors of the occupation. I was wondering if West Papuans are also allowed to migrate to wider Indonesia, and also in what other ways does Indonesia disenfranchise West Papuans?
Mostly through land grabbing, transmigration. They need so-called labor. Thus, they encourage land grabbing. It also to change the demography in Papua. very fast. Demographic change always happen everywhere around the world. But in Indonesia, it is being sponsored by the government. Trans-migrant family, if you move to Papua, you will get 2 hectares of land. Meanwhile, many Papuans themselves, they don't have land certificate, land titles.
I find this really interesting. I was in Yogyakarta a month ago, and I saw many Palestinian flags spray painted on walls, painted on cars, printed on clothes. I suppose the same question could be asked about Australia, but are everyday Indonesians aware of the similarities between the occupation in Palestine and the occupation in West Papua? In Palestine, you can be arrested for flying the Palestinian flag. The transmigration of Israeli settlers into Palestinian territory is a part of the colonization. Are people aware of these similarities?
Many don't.
Do they see West Papua as a colonial part of Indonesia?
No, they thought that it is a legitimate part of Indonesia. And by the way, of course, the UN General Assembly approved the so-called integrations of West Papua into Indonesia in 1969. So it is not, in a legal term, not an occupation. It is legally a part of Indonesia, according to the UN, unlike the Palestine.
Yeah, so regular Indonesians wouldn't consider it the same thing.
Yeah, they don't consider it the same like Gaza and the West Bank.
I suppose you have to be careful of your language. Do you consider it a similar project?
Well, I have to be careful. I live in Indonesia. I know Indonesian law are quite repressive.
Yeah.
I have to be very careful.
Yeah, it just struck me as odd when I was seeing all the support for Palestine when I was in Indonesia, and I wondered if people, just make that connection. I guess not.
Well, the Palestine issue is very dear, very emotional to many Indonesians because the state of Indonesia declared their support for the Palestine since day one, since the 1940s. And of course, there are real issues, there are real human rights abuses conducted by the Israel government against the Palestinians, land grabbing, extrajudicial killings, bombing, etc. There are already many records about that. But again, I think as an Indonesian, I feel that West Papua needs our attention as well.
Yeah.
It is right in front of our eyes. In Indonesia, there is a proverb, a phrase called "Gajah di depan mata tak tampak, kutu di seberang lautan tampak." The elephant right in front of your eyes, you don't see it. But a dust across the ocean, you can see it. So I want to see the elephant right in front of my eyes.
Yeah, I suppose, Australia has the same problem. We march, particularly the anti-genocide people here in Australia march for pro-Palestine, yet we don't get the same numbers for West Papua here in Australia either. That was part one of my interview with Andreas Harsono. He is a reporter, a researcher for Human Rights Watch in Indonesia. Let's go to a song now. This is Land of the Morning Star by David Bridie and Arnold App. Arnold App was a Papuan musician that made popular Papuan music and revitalising Papuan traditions in West Papua However, he was imprisoned and tortured for suspected sympathies with the Free Papua movement. No charges were laid, but in April 1984 he was killed by a gunshot to the back of his head. Official accounts claim he was trying to escape. Many supporters believe Arnold Up was executed by Kopassus, which is the Indonesian special forces, which the current president of Indonesia was a part of. Anyways, this is Land of the Morning Star by David Bridie and Arnold Up. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio.
Shout out to Pamela. Thank you very much for resubscribing as a passionate subscriber. Enjoy that sweet passionate subscriber merch.
Welcome back. You're on 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio. I am Dave.
I am Zack.
And we are going to... we just heard then from David Bridie and Arnold Up with Land of the Morning Star. Fantastic track. And we are going to go into our second part of the interview with Andreas Harsono. Andreas is a reporter, a researcher for Human Rights Watch in Indonesia. And we are talking about the occupation of West Papua. This is part 2 of that interview. West Papuans able to move into Indonesia as well?
Oh, yes, they can.
Yeah.
They can freely move, let's say, to Bali or to Java. The problem that they face is mostly racism, discrimination. They have difficulties to look for a room. They have difficulties they are often racist treatment by Indonesian. The word that they are often used is monkey or smelly or whatever.
Right.
Very racist remark made by Indonesians against Papua. They are often considered that if you study in a university, you come here because of, let's say, affirmative action.
Yeah.
Not because of your skill or your knowledge or your educational level. That kind of thing often happen. I write about that. Human Rights Watch just published a report in 2024 about racism against Papuan throughout Indonesia. In West Papua, they have difficulties to access healthcare, education. There are differences between settler-dominated areas and indigenous Papuan-dominated areas.
Mm-hmm.
In Papuan-dominated areas, healthcare and school are very well. The teachers are going to work. Meanwhile, in Papuan areas, teachers absentee is a big problem. You can even Google UNICEF website to take a look at the problem. Teachers absentee is a big problem in Papuan-dominated areas inside West Papua. Healthcare also. If you go into settler-dominated areas, you can find the doctors are there, the nurses are there, the medicine, supplies, equipment. But in indigenous Papuan-dominated areas, neighborhood, often, they are not there. Medicines are expired. There was a complaint about mental health hospital, for instance, did not have enough supply for their monthly disbursement of the medicine into their patient. So the discrimination and the racism are here, unfortunately, against Papua in Indonesia.
I saw one of the stats that said West Papuans or Papuans are now 40% of the population. That's a huge drop in such a short amount of time.
Yes, it is. In 50 years, almost 60 years, the indigenous Papuan percentage has dropped from 90% something into 45%.
I would say that
in only 60 years.
Yeah, a lot of that is because West Papua is home to the largest known deposit of gold. the Grasberg mine is the largest mine there, and that economic resource extraction would be the main cause. What is the extent of the environmental degradation through the settler occupation?
Oh, there's a lot. Because of deforestation, for palm oil plantation, for so-called food estate, for mining operation, we are losing beautiful coral reef in the Raja Ampat area for nickel mining operation. There are many reports about Korean company called Korindu, Korean Indonesian company, palm oil. Many millions of hectares are being deforested over the last 60 years inside West Papua. To the extent that, these are once pristine jungle with lush forests, butterflies, birds of paradise. Now they are facing flooding. They are facing lack of sago tree, their traditional staple food. It is happening so fast over the last 6 decades under Indonesian rule. And now the Indonesian government is going to clear at least 2 million hectares of forest in South Papua, around Merauke area, for the so-called food estate with palm oil, sugarcane, rice field. The Papuan are very sad about the so-called food estate. Yeah, they are going to lose their land. Soldiers are accompanying bulldozers to clear the lands. There is no way that they are going to be consulted for all of this land clearing.
What can be done from your perspective in Indonesia to make things right?
There are some organizations that fight justice. There are some organizations that genuinely have and try to listen to Indonesia's Papuan. They accompanied East Papuan to document their cases, go to Jakarta, provide lodging, provide rooms for them to file their complaints, involving organizations like Greenpeace Indonesia, Bentala Pusaka, based in Jakarta. Mongabay news website is also very dedicated on issues of the forest, of the environment in Papua. Amnesty International Indonesia is also doing a lot of work in West Papua. So Indonesians are doing not many of course, but doing their work to help indigenous Papuan to protect their forests, their lands, their water, their lake.
There was a vote, I suppose it was recent, I think it was 2019, and exiled Papuans were elected to speak for the people of West Papua. That was disintegrated by Joko Widodo at the time. Is there any efforts for that to happen again, or is the government of Indonesia, is it not an issue for them?
It only happened briefly in 2015 when foreign journalists were allowed to go to West Papua. But after 2015, 2016, it is becoming difficult again. In fact, some foreign journalists who took the pain to get the special permit to go to West Papua, one of them, for instance, a BBC journalist, was detained once he arrived in Asmat. She was detained for 3 nights, despite having all the paper to do that. So until now, foreign journalists are still discouraged to go to West Papua. If you have a working visa as a journalist to be based in Jakarta, they are also nervous if they want to cover West Papua. Why? Because their working permit might not be extended the next time they reapply for expensive.
Yeah, it's a very difficult process, and yeah, as a result,
very time-consuming, very, very, very frustrating,
and expensive. I
Like,
understand.
it is expensive, very time-consuming, very expensive.
So I suppose
That's why
it's a good result for the Indonesian government then that people aren't able to report as easily.
it is. It is not easy for the Papuan being restricted this long.
What do you think we can do in Australia, even if we can't go into West Papua? What can we do in Australia to make things better, be able to encourage self-determination in West Papua? What can we do from Australia, do you think?
Well, there are very few, but there are some very courageous journalists in Australia. One of them is a guy whose name is Christo Langker. He is a young journalist from Sydney. He covered West Papua very courageously, even crossing the border from PNG. Listen to him, watch his video. There are also more senior journalists like Mark Davies, who used to go to West Papua. Listen, read their stories though. But of course, there is a need to encourage more and more Australian journalists to write about West Papua. It is so close to Australia, just next door, north of Darwin.
Yeah, it's so close. I think I've really found this interesting, Andreas. I really appreciate you talking to me. And is there anything else you would like our listeners to know about your work, where we can find you and the work you do for Human Rights Watch?
The listeners can Google Human Rights Watch website, srw.org, and of course Google search Indonesia. You can find many of my writing there.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That was part 2 of my interview with Andreas Harsono. He is a researcher with Human Rights Watch in Indonesia. Andreas mentioned journalist Christo Langker. That's spelled Kristolangker. We'll leave a link to Christo's work. He's documenting bombings from drones and jets onto West Papuan civilians and West Papua National Liberation Army guerrilla fighters. Christo is also a producer of the Friendly Geordies.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he's a YouTube producer and has also, covered the conflict in West Papua, which is pretty extraordinary. So yeah, we'll leave links to Andreas's work, we really appreciate Andreas talking to us. He's been covering human rights with the Human Rights Watch since 2008, but he has been a long time uncoverer of abuses in West Papua. Let's go to a song now. This is George Telek with the song West Papua. George, or Telek as he is known in PNG, was born in 1959. He has had an international career singing in bands and as a solo artist. Telek sings in his native language, Kuana, and in Tok Pisin. This is Telek with West Papua. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio.
You're listening to Eco Radio, the radio of the future.
You are listening to Eco Radio, the radio of the future. Thank you, small child. Pa-pa-pa-pow.
Skri-pa-pa.
We got it. We still got it.
So, Dave, I live with a small Pomeranian cross Chihuahua, and whenever he's been bad, we make finger guns at him and go, brah,
And does he understand
He
what's
does. He looks devastated every time. He generally looks very, very upset.
happening? We're supposed to be talking about peace on this show.
It's funny. That's what he gets for
the violence against Pomeranians.
That's what he gets for barking at 2 a.m.
We just heard then from George Telek with West Papua, and after that I played Jesse Wells with Genocide Cake. Jesse is an American folk singer. He's been viral a few times. He's coming to Australia on the 22nd of January. Brisbane, sorry. He's coming to Brisbane on the 22nd of January. I'm pumped for that show, and I like his music. If you like what we do here on 4ZZZ, or maybe even specifically here on Eco Radio, then you can support the station by subscribing. We run a subscription based economy here at 4ZZZ. We like and subscribe, click that follow button.
That's how it works with the radio platform.
It's on your radio. It's on your radio in the car. It's a follow button, the like and subscribe and follow. Go to 4zzz.org.au/support and sign up for, I don't know, you could sign up an under 18 subscription for that under 18 in your life.
Or not. You can also subscribe for as a pet. So $25 for that one. So likewise, if you have a little Pomeranian cross Chihuahua living on your home, you can get them get them a subscription. We will even make a shirt to fit the size of the animal, no matter what.
Yeah, easy done. The smaller the better, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to say it's a one size fits all. We're just going to, you can just put the slug or whatever inside it, irrespective of whether it actually fits to it or not. Yeah. So it may need to be larger. It's like, I don't know, a deer or something like that.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty big and difficult to put on.
Yes. If you're passionate, you can subscribe for $140 with that one. It comes with a tote bag, a t-shirt, and some stickers. All very, very cool stuff. And this is the last day of the month and the last day of the year as well.
Oh, yeah.
And if you are to subscribe today, you go into running to win a chance at a $250 voucher from the End Bar. You can use that to spend yourself or do some takeaway kind of things. They're going to have some great drinks there. Or
if you subscribe today, you could have that ticket in your hand by tomorrow.
That's true. I don't know how fast the
admin works.
Yeah. Or do we have like a massive trombola upstairs, the things they use in a bingo? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Your name has been answered in the prayer trombola.
News station manager Nick will get onto that lickety split. We've come to the end of the show. I really enjoyed those interviews, those parts of the interview, even though it's a pretty heavy subject. But to lighten your mood, we like to end the show with some volunteering opportunities that you can get around in this holiday period. This is a little segment I like to call the Bushcare Roundup, and it goes a little something like this.
It's a Bushcare Roundup. They've been pulling out weeds and then they put in trees. It's the Bushcare Roundup.
All right, so kicking off on Friday the 2nd, after your hangover has subsided, depending on how old you are, at 8 o'clock you can go to the Archerfield Wetlands Bushcare Working Bee. That's at Archerfield Wetlands in Durack. And then at 3 o'clock, after you've recovered a bit more, you can go to the Kurilpa Common Farm Working Bee in Potluck. That's 1 Dudley Street in Highgate Hill.
On Saturday the 3rd from 8:30 till 10, there is the Mother of Millions Bushcare at 47 Fleming Road in Chapel Hill. And then on Sunday the 4th at 6 a.m, there's the Taringa Community Gardening Bee at 9 Heroes Avenue, Toowong.
And on Sunday the 4th of...
Isn't that what I just said?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my bad. So that's everything we've got for you today. We're going to hand you over to Claire. They're sticking in for Jordan this week on Sonic Alien, and they have got a packed show for you to listen along to. Text in with any of your comments about your favourite songs. The text line is 0420626733, and I'm sure that Claire can help you out. Absolutely. I just got the big thumbs up. And we're going to go out with a song. This is Terror Sisters with Toxic Message. This was produced by Linda, former Eco Radio legend, or current Eco Radio legend, former Eco Radio host, who has been doing some wonderful work at Victoria Park at Ibis Island, setting up gatherings and parties right there for everyone to enjoy the park. I want to say before it's bulldozed and becomes a stadium, but hopefully not. Hopefully with the support of the community and the wild pushback, we can save the park and save public assets that are going to be bulldozed. The Crisafulli government was elected on a promise that there will be no new stadiums. Obviously, that was a lie, and the current plan is to turn Victoria Park into I guess, like, because it's quite hilly, it's going to be a multi-tiered sort of terrace sort of system. I don't know. It seems like a bonkers idea. Anyways, this is Terror Sisters with Toxic Message. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This has been Eco Radio.